Hey guys, it's Votonomous. I know I said I wasn't really going to be doing a video today and I was going to do a video tomorrow and I was going to do my tier list video. I'm still going to do the tier list video at some point, but I wanted to cover today the Vader discussion in Dead by Daylight. A lot of people are talking about it. I know I kind of covered it earlier, but I didn't get to talk about Vader as a whole. And there are some points I want to bring up that I feel like are worth discussing. So when it comes to Dead by Daylight and Star Wars, I think it's a little bit ignorant to say that it won't happen one day. With behavior working with Disney and knowing that they've made, and it's about to come out soon, a Monopoly Star Wars game, Behavior made that. It's definitely not impossible for Star Wars to come to Dead by Daylight. Here's the thing. Eventually, if Behavior gets what they want, and Dead by Daylight goes on for another 10 years, so not including this next chapter that's coming out. This next chapter that's coming out, let's just say it's Jason, right? This next chapter coming out, chapter 40 is Jason. We have 10 more years of Dead by Daylight, which means we have 40 more chapters of Dead by Daylight. And we can assume, especially with recently how much they really like licensed chapters over originals, at least half of those chapters are going to be licensed. 20 licensed, 20 original, maybe even 25 licensed, 15 original. We are eventually going to run out of valid options that would make Behavior a lot of money, because something you guys also need to realize with this conversation of Star Wars and DBD, the reason why it's even a thing, not only because of Behavior's relationship with Disney, but we're going to run out of heavy hitter licensed chapters soon for horror. We got Jason still left. But like I said, he might be the 40th anniversary. I would still bet that Jason's the 40th anniversary. We're going to lose Jason at some point. He's going to be in the game. So who's next? Who's the next big license killer to be in Dead by Daylight? Probably Slender Man. I think Slender Man was like second place for most hyped license. So if Jason goes to Dead by Daylight, our number one is Slender Man. Will that happen? Probably. I could see Slender Man happening. Especially if people ask for it and keep asking for it. Eventually, Behavior might hit the panic button, and the easiest way to get the Slender Man license might just be getting the movie license. I could see Slender Man coming into the game. So then who's after Slender Man? Who's the heaviest hitter after Slender Man? It's Pennywise. Pennywise was in third place. I saw a lot of like poll stuff. Slender Man was typically in second place. Jason was always in first. Pennywise was like in third. In some cases, Pennywise was second. So let's just say Slender Man gets added. Pennywise is next. Pennywise is not coming to Dead by Daylight. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. The way Stephen King handles his IPs, Pennywise is not coming to Dead by Daylight. So if Stephen King properties aren't coming to Dead by Daylight, what else is left that's like big for horror? Predator? Predator's pretty big, so you have that. Candyman? Don't see that happening, because I'm pretty sure Candyman is owned by Clive Barker, who also owns Pinhead, and we have not gotten Pinhead back in Dead by Daylight. I'm assuming it's going to be hard to get Pinhead back in Dead by Daylight. I don't know how Clive works with his work, and I don't know how he feels about DBD. Also, Candyman, Tony Todd unfortunately passed away, so I don't know how likely a Candyman chapter is going to be. So what are our options? Slender Man, Predator. Those two are valid. I could definitely see those two coming into the game, especially Predator, since, you know, that's also Disney. What's left? There's a ton of video game licenses. Outlast, BioShock is another one that people really want. I think it'd be cool too. Amnesia could be good. So there are Bendy, obviously, Poppy Playtime. If you start getting into that mascot horror genre, there are a few different options there too. There are also potential of second chapters for licenses like Five Nights at Freddy's. That could totally get a second chapter. So Silent Hill as well. Eventually though, within the next 10 years, we're going to run out of options. And what's going to happen is we're going to have more niche picks. Like Berserk is technically more niche, but that would be friggin' amazing. I would love Berserk. The Strain, super niche. I would love The Strain. Eventually, we're gonna hit a point where things are niche. They're gonna have to do licenses that they know won't bring in a ton of players, and it's just gonna be the current players who are going to get these chapters. I think, I don't mean to diss anybody, something like, okay, I'll diss myself. I just mentioned the strain. Only people who play Dead by Daylight are gonna probably pick up the strain chapter. I think they're going to want to bring in licenses that bring in players. I think they want money. And eventually they're gonna have to start looking at other licenses that will bring people in, especially for Anniversary, right? We just had Springtrap last year. We got the highest player count ever in DBD history for Springtrap. If Jason is this next chapter, I'm sensing a theme here. I'm sure that from this point on, their Anniversary chapters, they're gonna want to do licensed chapters that are big. They're gonna want to save the big IPs. So like Slenderman could be a license for Anniversary. I could totally see that. If they ever get Pennywise, if they ever do it, I doubt that. But if they ever do it, that's going to be an Anniversary chapter, because that's going to bring in a lot of people. They're gonna, at some point, like Supernatural is not going to be an Anniversary chapter. The Strain is not going to be an Anniversary chapter if it even ever comes to the game, period. At some point, they're going to look at other options. This is where Star Wars comes in, because they have a relationship with Disney. They've worked on a Star Wars thing before, that being the new Monopoly game that's coming out. Star Wars is pretty easy for them to get, because I heard, don't know if it's true, but I heard that Disney wanted Star Wars in Dead by Daylight. So knowing that Disney wanted it in Dead by Daylight, it could definitely happen at some point, because it'll be easy to get. It's also a gigantic IP, and it would turn a lot of heads. The headlines would be huge. I think they're going to think about money. Everybody who's saying Star Wars does not fit DBD isn't considering that at some point we're gonna push the boundary, because they want money. They want a player base. You could argue, well, screw that. They already made so much money. They have a player base. Why do we need a bigger player base? If they add Star Wars to DBD, I kind of agree that even if they get new players, which they probably would, they'd probably bring in a whole bunch of new people for the game. They're not gonna last, because they're gonna start playing the game, and they're gonna realize how grindy it is and how hard it is to play, and they're probably going to leave. That's a behavior fault. They need to make the game easier to play for newer survivors. And when I say easier to play, I'm not necessarily talking about gameplay itself. I'm talking about making it easier to understand perks and killer powers and maybe maps and all that shit. They need to make that easier, but I don't know if they really care about that. I think they more so care about, I just want somebody to be like, oh shit, Vader's in the game, I'll buy DBD, I'll get the Vader chapter, play it for 3 hours, make sure they can't refund it, and then they'll go, and then they don't play it again. I don't think they care about having consecutive, like, over 100,000 players in the game. They just want their, like, Anniversary chapters to be huge. They just want people to buy the game. They want more money. That is what I'm going to assume. I understand that people aren't thinking about that. I guess people don't think about that. I think about what are they going to want to do as a company? What do they think will make the most sense for them? And that's adding big chapters, adding big licenses. At some point, they're going to say, it could be the 11th anniversary, it could be the 12th anniversary, it could be the 13th anniversary. At some point, if we do have 10 more years of DBD, they're going to hit Star Wars. I hate to break it to you. They're going to hit Star Wars at some point within the next 10 years if the game actually goes on for that long. You may not agree. You may not want it. You may think that that's an awful choice. You are allowed to believe what you want to believe. I just think this whole, like, I've seen people say, like, you're stupid if you think Star Wars is ever gonna join Dead by Daylight. You know what people used to tell me back in the day? You're stupid if you think Springtrap's gonna be in Dead by Daylight. You are silly if you think Mascot Horror will ever join Dead by Daylight in any capacity. Springtrap will never be in the game. That's what I was told. I was told this how many years ago when I was covering around the time Pinhead came out. We all thought, I'm sure not all of us, but there was a good majority of us that thought Springtrap was coming to Dead by Daylight when Pinhead came in. That era of time, I had a bunch of different people say, like, no, it's never gonna happen, it's never gonna happen. It happened. Now again, we're seeing Star Wars is never going to happen. It's never going to happen. Look, I'm not like huge. I'm not like a, nah, man, Star Wars needs to come to Dead by Daylight. Personally, I'm cool with whatever, typically. Unless it's an IP that I really just do not fuck with, I'm typically cool with whatever. I'm not going to say this doesn't deserve to be in Dead by Daylight. Because whatever they put in, I know there's going to be a bunch of people now that are going to be like, oh, then Elmo should be in Dead by Daylight. You know what I mean, dude? Like, Vader can fit as a killer. I can see it. Is it horror? Not really. You know, Vader himself is not horror, so we're losing the horror plot. But it wouldn't be the first time we lost the horror plot. Now, hold on for a second. We have friggin' Rainbow Six Siege skins in this damn game. And again, you're gonna say, it's Survivor, it's different from Killer, you could have... I don't know, man. I still think it's kind of friggin' silly if I'm playing as Ash and I see a Rainbow Six Siege guy, and it's like, well, what the hell? You're not even remotely horror. You're not even you're Rainbow Six Siege. This isn't even a Lara Croft situation where it's like, oh, well, she's the epitome of Survivor. Dude, it's a friggin' Rainbow Six Siege operator. Like, at this point, you could add a friggin' Call of Duty guy at this point. You could add Master Chief at this point. You could add Indiana Jones at this point, right? Horror is lost for the Survivor side. It's a matter of time until horror is kinda lost on the killer side. And they would start with Vader or Homelander. Homelander's another one that I see people like, the boys doesn't fit, it's not horror, it doesn't deserve... Bro, at some point, we're going to get these types of killers, like Homelander, like Vader, who are intimidating. As long as they're intimidating and they kill, and bro, Homelander kills in brutal ways too, we're going to lose the horror plot. If that scares you, sorry, but it's going to happen. I've been able to read the writing on the wall for a long time. They'll probably prolong it. We'll probably get Jason first. Maybe they'll prioritize Jason, Predator. If they can get Pennywise, they'll do it. Slender Man, Amnesia, Outlast, even like Berserk, hopefully. Again, I'd love that. I'd fucking love Berserk. They'll prioritize the more horror licenses over licenses like The Boys and Star Wars, I'm sure. But again, if we hit 10 more years of DBD, it's going to be really hard to think of horror licenses that would bring in an okay amount of people, that would make it worth it for them to do it. Whatever niche horror movie you're thinking of, it's probably not coming to Dead by Daylight. Not anytime soon. They could do Star Wars and do like a horror type of killer. I don't know what from the Star Wars universe. See, then you're starting to get to like the expanded universe, and then that's kind of tricky. I do think Vader would just be the most reasonable pick. I don't know. I understand where people are coming from, because then it's like, if we add Vader, if we add Homelander, then like, where's the line? When do we draw the line? Elmo could be a killer. But like, that's overdramatic, right? Like, obviously they're not going to put in friend Sesame Street characters. They're not going to put in... I guess here's where it does get tricky. You want to know where it gets tricky? Here's where it gets tricky. If we add Homelander... If you argue Homelander is fit for Dead by Daylight and he gets in, what's the difference between Homelander and Thrag from Invincible? I can understand that, because that's not horror at all. You could argue Homelander is horror. He's intimidating. He's scary. Whenever you're near him and you see him, your heart starts to pound. Thrag is less than that. That would be right? Like, we're not talking about stupid fucking characters like SpongeBob or whatever the hell, right? You want to name the dumbest thing, Thomas the Tank Engine is going to come to DBD. We're not talking about that. We're talking about, I think the genuine worry for people is if we add someone like Vader and someone like Homelander, what's stopping them from going down a step and doing Thrag? I understand that fear, and maybe that's a valid point. You know, maybe that's a valid point. If we open the doors to something non-horror, then we open the doors to a lot of different other stuff like Invincible or something like that. And then where does it stop? When does it start being Fortnite? When does the game start feeling more like Fortnite? and less like Dead by Daylight. Again, some would argue that we're already there, especially with some of these skins that are added to the game that aren't horror, like Rainbow Six Siege. I could give you probably more examples of other licensed skins that aren't really horror. I'd have to go through them and think about it. Is The Witcher really horror? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, maybe, and I guess you could start arguing, well, okay, with these skins, they're not chapters, so there's a little bit more leeway. I don't know, dude. I don't know about all that. More leeway with skins than with chapters, because if they make Homelander a skin for somebody, that's still Homelander being in the game. What's the difference between adding him as a skin and adding him as a killer, right? So if you say skins have more leeway than chapters, I don't know about that. I don't know. It's a very interesting conversation, because I really do. I personally can actually see both sides. I could see people saying, like, well, no, Vader makes sense. And I could see people saying Vader doesn't make sense, because then where do we go from there? I am of the opinion currently that somebody like Vader doesn't bother me. I don't care if Vader joins Dead by Daylight or not. I can see value in it. I would be interested in playing Vader in Dead by Daylight. I'd be interested in running away from him. I could take it or leave it. I really don't care too much. I do think, though, eventually we're gonna hit it. I think I really do think eventually we are going to hit Dead by Daylight Star Wars collab. That's my opinion. I think it's more about it being an inevitable thing, in my opinion, than it is me wanting it. What do I want? You'll find out. I'm gonna make a tier list video. Tons of different licenses in the tier list. You may have seen the tier list before. It's gone around. I was actually shocked that people used it. I didn't even get to post anything about it. I made the tier list way back in the day, I think like a year or two ago. So I'm gonna do a video on that tier list and what I want to see in Dead by Daylight, what I think would be cool in Dead by Daylight. That's gonna be, I'm gonna try to make that the next video I do. If you watch this video all the way through, please hit the subscribe button, like the video. What do you think? I don't mind Dead by Daylight Star Wars collab. I really don't. If it's in the game or it's not, makes no difference to me. However, I think that it is very likely it's going to happen at some point soon. It could even be this next chapter. It could. Jason Voorhees, is a guess right now. We have no clues for Jason. We just think it makes the most sense. And I do think it makes the most sense. I think it makes the most sense to have Jason be your 10th anniversary killer. We've been wanting Jason for the longest time. They've been wanting Jason for the longest time. That's the only clue we have, is that the Jason license is free and that they can finally put it in DBD. Otherwise, there's a lot of clues that lead to Star Wars. And oh boy, holy shit. If they add Star Wars to Dead by Daylight in the 10th anniversary, we are cooked. There's gonna be so many people complaining about this, that, and the other thing. It's going to be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. If they actually add Star Wars, this environment is gonna be nuts. I think it's gonna be funny, but it's gonna be nuts. People are gonna lose their mind. I do think it's gonna be Jason, though. So like I said, guys, stay tuned for my next video. It's going to be that tier list video. I'm gonna finally make it. I'm gonna finally cover it. I believe I'm gonna post it not tomorrow, but the next day. I'm gonna try to start doing like an every other day schedule. So if you liked this video, give it a like. What do you think? Do you want Vader in Dead by Daylight? Do you think Vader fits? What's your opinion? Let me know down in the comments. Make sure you hit subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.